Straight ahead on CTV News tonight, the latest from Maryland's COVID dashboard and a pothole blitz in Prince George's.
Last week, the county began its litter blitz campaign, getting rid of items like this. Today, they are targeting something else, potholes. I'm Byron Scott. That story coming up. With a CTV News update. The first week of spring means it's time for the county's effort to rid our streets of potholes. Crews hit roads across the county this morning looking for the asphalt craters. Byron Scott has the story.
The location, Pennsylvania Avenue Service Road at Armstrong Lane in Upper Marlboro. The task, find, clear, fill, and tamp.
When you tamp it, it pressures it down and levels it off and all that and give you the compaction to tighten it up.
It's Pothole Patrol, Prince George's County.
So today in Prince George's County, we're starting our pothole blitz. And what that means is that we're having a concentrated effort in filling potholes throughout the county.
Department of Public Works and Transportation crews are on the prowl looking for these seasonal street scars. And while the number of people on the roads is down due to the pandemic, surprisingly, the number of potholes is up.
This season, last year we had maybe 3 mobilizations. This year we had about, 13. And so what that means is that we have the ground that freezes and then it thaws out. And so we had a lot more of that this year.
On any given day, this crew may patch upwards of 100 potholes.
Yes, it's hard work. It's hard. It's hard work. It takes a while. Once you get yourself used to it and all that, you learn the short ways of doing it and all that, and then it gets easier on you.
While the pothole campaign is ongoing, the county will get back to the litter blitz campaign next weekend. The following week will be the taking down of illegal signs. In Upper Marlboro, Byron Scott, CTV News.
And keep in mind, you can report potholes by calling 311. A Clinton family is lucky to be alive after heavy fire tears through their one-story home. The incident happened just before 6 this morning in the 11,100 block of Tippett Road and quickly spread throughout the home and roof. One firefighter was treated for a minor burn injury. 6 people have been displaced, but none of the occupants were injured. The blaze was extinguished and investigators continue to search for its cause. A person's race, national origin, sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation cannot be used as a defense in a crime. That's if Maryland State Senator Clarence Lamb has his way. The Democrat is sponsoring Senate Bill 46.
We've heard of bias instances or attacks that are taking place against, for example, the LGBT community. And when it comes to trial, that the defense says that the perpetrator was fearful because of the person's, in this instance, sexual orientation, right? And they're using that as a defense for why they committed that assault. This bill would prevent the use of that type of defense by citing a victim's sexual orientation, gender, race, ethnicity, and we believe could be actually protective in these types of situations if they were to occur by allowing these types of prosecutions to continue to go forward.
And the bill is currently in the Judicial Proceedings Committee. The House version of the bill passed unanimously. U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen takes up the American Rescue Plan with Montgomery County lawmakers this morning. During the virtual conference, Van Hollen, along with Councilmember Tom Hucker, outlined the plan's fiscal impact on the county. The total amount stands at $203 million.
Also, our municipalities are really will really benefit from the American Rescue Plan. They're getting another $100 million that'll go to the city of Gaithersburg, the city of Rockville, the city of Tacoma Park, city of Chevy Chase, other places like that. Those, local governments are very close to the ground, very attuned to the individual needs of residents, and they'll have to account for their federal dollars as well. But it's really, that's an important part of the plan as well.
Hucker says funding from both the CARES Act and the American Rescue Measure will help provide critical services to county residents. 14 Marylanders have died from the coronavirus in the last 24 hours. That's according to the state health department. The agency is also reporting 682 new COVID-19 cases. This brings the total number to more than 400,000 statewide. Meantime, Prince George's has recorded more than 76,000 cases, the most in the state. And as Atlanta and the nation continue to grieve over another mass shooting, a Georgia advocacy group is stepping in to help. The Asian American Advocacy Fund says there's a lot of sadness in the community after 8 people, including 6 Asian women, were fatally gunned down last week. The group is hosting vigils and providing support to victims' families.
We're also, we have a victim support fund that we have launched that we are helping to raise funds for the families directly. And right now we're mobilizing a lot of support for vigils and other public actions just to show that there is support widely across the community, not just amongst other Asian Americans, but across the Atlanta community at large. And I think our partners and our community, other community members have really shown up and spoken in support of the community.
Meantime, a National Day of Action will take place on Friday. For more information, you can visit the website on your screen. A tragic accident leaves 2 people dead and 2 others injured on the BW Parkway early this morning. It happened around 1 o'clock when an SUV overturned near Beaver Dam Road in the Beltsville area. The cause of the crash is still unknown, but investigators say 2 people were declared dead at the time. 2 women were seriously injured and are being treated at a local hospital. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash is asked to contact police. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit PrinceGeorgesCountyMD.GOV. That's PrinceGeorgesCountyMD.GOV. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Welcome back. Police have identified the victim of this weekend's fatal stabbing in Hyattsville. Authorities say 32-year-old Donaldo McGee was killed Saturday evening in the 5400 block of Ager Road. Detectives are trying to identify a suspect and motive in this case. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to call Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS. County Executive Angela Alsobrooks reveals that she plans to stay in her current job in 2022. Alsobrooks made the announcement in WAMU Radio's The Kojo Namdi Show. She said at the moment she is seeking re-election for county executive. There has been much speculation about her running for the state's top job in 2022. Governor Hogan is term limited and will leave office early in 2023. And former Senator Victor Ramirez says he plans to run for county council in Prince George's. The 46-year-old lawyer says he'll run for the District 2 seat where current council member Denny Taveras is term limited. Although Ramirez currently does not reside in the district, the lines could change through redistricting before the 2022 election. Ramirez's legislative career ended in 2018 when he lost a Democratic primary for state's attorney. 20 states and the district have approved the legalization of marijuana. Virginia is the latest state to give its approval. Now one local lawmaker wants Maryland to do the same. House Bill 32 would end the prohibition on cannabis.
I'm trying to keep Maryland on par with our neighbors, okay, who are ending cannabis prohibition. My bill is focused and grounded in racial equity, like many of my bills, trying to make sure that those who bore the brunt of incarceration when cannabis was legal benefit from the tax proceeds of it, and we use it as a tool to uplift those communities. We also, in my bill, it allows for automatic expungement of records for people who were convicted for a cannabis possession, and it creates a special process for what we call social equity applicants, which are essentially minorities and people who come from what we call disproportionately impacted communities. And this is all to just make sure that when we end prohibition and tax proceeds, sales of cannabis is able to happen, all communities benefit from it.
The U.S. House of Representatives introduced a federal cannabis reform bill this week with bipartisan support. A Senate version is expected next week, but neither addresses widespread decriminalization of marijuana. It's crossover day in Annapolis, one of the busiest times on the calendar for the state legislature. Bills must pass in one chamber of the Maryland General Assembly to be considered in the other before the session ends in 3 weeks. Multiple floor sessions have been scheduled in the House and Senate today, as well as last-minute committee hearings. Some measures will inevitably stall today with little chance of revival. Well, calling all movie buffs, grab your popcorn for the school system's 9th annual film festival. Usually held at the American Film Institute, this year's award ceremony is virtual on May 12th. Experts in the field will judge 5 categories, including the Under a Minute Challenge, feature, and documentary. Instructional specialist Barbara Liddell says this year's film tackles some heavy topics.
I think this year what struck me was that our students have been thinking about issues like Black Lives Matter, coping during the coronavirus, ways to relax. And this came out in their filmmaking, in their topics that they chose to create a film about. And they're dealing with some very grown-up topics.
Voting on the People's Choice Award film, which is open to everyone, begins today. For more information, you can visit the website on your screen. In sports news, the Terps are dancing in the NCAA tournament. The Maryland women's team is playing right now. They're on the court against Mount St. Mary's, one of the best teams in the country. The Terps women are seeded number 2. The Maryland men tip off tonight at 8:45. They have a tough matchup against number 2 seed Alabama. The Crimson Tide has a 25-6 record. Let's get a quick check now on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 42. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 62 and a low of 48. Wednesday, cloudy with rain expected in the morning. Daytime temps will reach a high near 62 and a low of 52. Thursday, mostly cloudy and seasonably warm, highs in the low 70s, and in the evening, lows in the upper 50s. Looking forward to that weather this week. And now for our community calendar, the Capitol Heights Civic Association is hosting a vaccination clinic to assist seniors in the community. Seniors can come out, register to receive the COVID-19 vaccination on a scheduled date. The event takes place on Wednesday, March 31st from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Participants must be 65 and older. Transportation will be provided. For more information on the event, you can visit CapitolHeightsCivicAssociation.com. And that wraps up our CTV News Update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. I'm Patricia Vallone. Have a great night.